Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Simulation Games. When I utter that phrase, what are the first things that come to your mind? Relaxing gameplay perhaps? Laid back feel-good gaming? Well, what if I told you that one of the most popular simulation games ever made, Game Dev Story, has an intricate, detailed speedrunning community with multiple run categories, transforming this relaxing game into the ultimate frame-perfect button-mashing sweaty experience. Let's start our first run attempt in today's video to set the record straight on the bizarre history of Game Dev Story speedrunning. Game Dev Story, the Kairosoft title that birthed countless Kairosoft titles to come, and even copycat clones of the game-making genre. Game Dev Story is an incredibly influential game. Not only is it one of the founding company's most popular games to date, but it also inspired countless copycat clones of the unique gameplay, and even pioneering a brand new genre of video games known as game development simulations. I've previously covered a playthrough review of Game Dev Story on my channel, so if you enjoy today's video content, make sure to check out that one after this one. But hold it right there. Before you go anywhere, make sure to get comfortable and grab your favorite snack as we are embarking on a deep dive into the surprisingly detailed lore of Game Dev Story speedruns. The average Kairosoft typical game playthrough is full of sunshine and lollipops. These games are the most relaxing and cathartic games in existence. There's no better feeling than just unwinding and being able to be immersed into these expansive games. So imagine my surprise when finding out that this game has an extreme underground and hidden speedrunning community absolutely decimating any peaceful gameplay in this title, transforming it into a cultivation of ultimately precise frame-perfect presses to deliver the fastest runs possible. At this current time of recording, there are currently 5 Game Dev Story speedrun categories, all of which we will be discovering in today's video, including one particular category that is more rigorously competitive and populated than any other. But before we jump into that, let's discuss the first category ever created. To do this, we are rewinding time back to 2019. 2019. What a simpler time. This takes me back to fond memories of crushing demons in Devil May Cry 5, commanding the lead in massive overworld battles in Fire Emblem Three Houses, dying countless times in Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, and dying even more times in Super Mario Maker 2. So many great games were released in 2019, but looming around the corner was COVID-19. Yes, that's right, some of these Game Dev Story speedruns predate even COVID-19. But in the year of 2019, there was an even more sinister and ominous revolution hiding in the shadows that would change one particular game forever. This brings us to the date of the 2nd of March 2019, starting it all. It was a beautiful Saturday morning outside. Birds were singing, flowers were blooming, and on days like these, one certain man wanted to unravel chaos onto one of the most peaceful games ever made. Let me introduce you to our first speedrunner in today's video, and the pioneer of Kairosoft speedrunning as a whole, Plant from California, America. God bless this man. As they woke up and smelled the beautifully sweet scent of American freedom all around him, he then used this sweet freedom to record the first ever Game Dev Story speedrun recorded in history in the first ever category that was ever created, the award category. But whoa, we're going too quick. Before we jump right into that specific category, in order to successfully record a speedrun in any category, there are general rules for all 5 categories, and these are as follows. Number 1, the timing starts as soon as you press OK after selecting New Game. So take your time thinking of your favorite company name, but as soon as you press that OK button, that's when the time begins. Number 2, you are not allowed to use a previous save, unless specifically permitted in the category rules. Progress that carries over from a previous game, such as genre and type levels, are allowed. Number 3, all timing is an RTA, aka real-time attack. So once that timer is started, it is not to be paused, even on menus. Number 4, fast mode is allowed. Every Kairosoft game has a fast mode setting in the options, but it has to be enabled after the game has started. Number 5, as with any speedrun, all runs require video evidence. So lucky for us, in today's video we'll actually be able to witness the awe and dedication of these epic speedruns. Now, with the general rules that apply to every category out of the way, what was the rule set for the first ever category that Plant endeavored in? The award speedrun category is actually unique in that it has 4 subcategories that we'll cover later in the video, but the first run ever recorded was the runner-up subcategory. In Game Dev Story, Game Show Awards are held to commemorate the outstanding titles that have been released by game developers that year, showcasing the hard work devoted by all of your committed employees that worked forced overtime with a diet consisting of only Dead Bull and the distant taste of lingering fear of being laid off after creating successful games. Being let go after creating Game of the Year. Delicious, I love that taste. Kinda tastes like vanilla. The category rules for the award speedruns are simple. It adds just one rule to complete. Get one of the minor awards at the Global Game Awards. The time stops the moment your game is announced as a winner in the chosen category. Whoa, hold on a second. Did you guys just see what I just saw? Am I going crazy here with brain rot? Did that just say Goon Patrol? This 2010 game really was ahead of its time. And it came up twice. The Goon Patrol game is edging the awards. I agree. Goon Patrol does have the best design. The 4 subcategories for the award speedruns are the Best Design Trophy, the Best Music Trophy, the Runner-Up Trophy, and my personal favorite, the Worst Game Trophy. To successfully complete any of these award speedruns, you just have to receive your chosen award from the 4 options above. With Plant's first ever run being the runner-up trophy speedrun. Plant put all of his gardening aside for the day and smashed out his best time of 1 hour, 15 minutes and 10 seconds. I feel like I have grown a lot from that run, he thought to himself, unwillingly knowing that he had set a hallmark historic achievement in Kairosoft speedrunning history. I love that on the website you can actually view comments recorded by the speedrunner at the time of submitting their run. Plant had this to say: "The run kept going because it was supposed to be a grand prize speedrun, but the game crashed midway through." That's hilarious. Over the next week, Plant claimed 3 other titles still recorded to this day. First hunting another award speedrun, this time in the Best Design Award on the 9th of March 2019, and also on that very same day, Plant completed the first longer run in the next category of speedruns, the Hall of Fame speedrun. In this next speedrun category, the Hall of Fame run pits you with the challenge of developing a game that scores a total of 32 points or more from critics, indicting it into the Hall of Fame. The speedrun timer stops at the moment the Hall of Fame icon appears when the game is released. This is no easy challenge, mind you. Some of the judges are extremely indecisive with their scoring, and honestly, some of their comments are just plain hurtful and uncalled for. Okay, Patricia? I poured my heart into making game number sign 1. How dare you say, what the heck is this? Plant then proceeded to branch out and record another historic run on the same day, finishing the first ever Hall of Fame run with an impressive time of 1 hour, 2 minutes and 34 seconds. Plant also ingrained his seeds into another first ever category attempt, one day earlier on the 8th of March 2019, in the most infamous and competitive category that is currently seen to date. Now, get ready to hold on to your socks before they are blown off in a record speedrun time. This is where things are going to start to get wild. What is this third category, you may ask? It is none other than the game run. This run is both hilarious and extremely difficult to pull off. The rules for the game category are simple. Develop a single game. Yep, that's it. You just have to develop one singular completed game. The time will stop when the ship button is pressed. Similar to the award speedrun, this category also has 2 variant subcategories. The first subcategory being new save, only counting new saves, and the second category being previous save, allowing you to start from any moment of a previous game. The timing will start as soon as you choose someone to start the proposal. To demonstrate how frantically intense these runs are, I'm going to attempt a new save game run right here and right now, and see just how difficult it is to rank among the best. For my first attempt, I just want to casually see how much time it roughly takes to develop a game. Plant's current best time for the category is 1 minute and 20 seconds, set on the 1st of November 2020. That's over an entire year over his original records. After all this time, they would be a master of their craft, but surely I can get a somewhat comparable attempt, right? Okay, this is Wow at Spow. Well, more specifically, Wow at Spow Speedruns, the Speedy Gonzalez incarnate, aka the sprinting emu of the Southern Hemisphere, and I'm doing my first ever attempt at a game dev new save game run. I'm expecting this to be awful, so let's just jump right into it and name our company BEARz Speedrun Studio, and okay, and we're off. Let's just spam through this text here, and oh boy, accidental extra press at the end there. That's gonna cost extra seconds, and most importantly, it's gonna cost me 400 aura points for that fumble. I'm in shambles already, and I'm gonna call it quits and restart. Wow at Spow Speedrun signing off. What a successful first attempt. My next consecutive attempts went just as well as my first one. Initially, I forgot to even enable the fast mode setting at the start of the runs. Dope. Often I would find that I would stumble by double-clicking menus too often, which then opens the in-game menu, or clicking menus that didn't need to be accessed at the cost of a hefty sum of time, and of course, costing more aura points. My aura was effectively diminishing, just like a character in the games after they use up all their aura strength. I was going the reverse of a Super Saiyan. Super lame. Eventually later, one of my best runs came about, and at 99%, one of my developers crammed in 6 bugs during the last 1% of development. Like, man, what are you even doing? How is it even possible to make 6 bugs on one single code commit? I'm convinced that they were secretly trying to sabotage me, and they were a bug in disguise, trying to infest more of its offspring into the game. Foolishly, like a foolish fool, I awaited for the bugs to be fixed, but you can actually just ship the game with any bugs remaining by selecting the bottom bar at the menu, and it is perfectly valid for a run. Each run I would note down small tips that would help shave off any possible seconds from the runs. Some of these were as simple as moving my cursor to the next position where I wanted to click next, such as the options menu to set the fast speed option, right off the rip after cycling through the introductory messages. There is actually one aspect of RNG which is hilarious. For this run, you actually want your employees to somewhat make the worst game possible. I'm talking about these segments when the character creates the game draft, sketch the art direction, and compose the music. The characters would typically re-roll, adding stats in 2 to 3 times, so for the optimal run you would want each of these selections to be 2 rolls max, with as little stats thrown in as possible, to make the animation pass as quickly as possible. Come on employees, what am I paying you for? Making an actual polished game? Hahaha, hurry up and whip up the worst possible designs as quickly as possible, and if you even dare spend a second overtime, you are fired! It's almost like living in a reverse universe where you want your employees to do terrible. It's hilarious. Bob, your draft for the new game was absolutely horrible. You're promoted. In fact, you're the new CEO. Well, after countless attempts, I am now happy to say that I have a time of 1 minute and 28 seconds. And your boy is actually able to make it on the leaderboard. Now, of course, this isn't as fast as Plant's best run, or even anywhere near the top, but don't think for a second that Wow It's Bow Speedruns is out of the count forever. I will continue to work on this time. But you know what? After seeing my name actually in the leaderboard, I now feel like I have a new goal to beat, and I will be able to optimize my runs further and eventually hopefully move up a couple of places here. The game Speedrun are truly the ultimate Kairosoft speedruns. Plant's original speedrun for this category was on the 8th of March 2019, crunching out an impressive 1 minute and 13 seconds for the previous save subcategory and 2 minutes and 1 second for the new game category. After an entire week of grinding out new speedrun categories, I'm sure they were ready to call it a day. I mean, Plant had just set and pioneered 3 different speedruns and records. It was time to pop down the iPod Touch and head outside for some much well-deserved sun rays. Surely these records would be upheld for a long time into the future. They had nothing to worry about, right? Wrong. Now get ready to fasten your seatbelts and locate your previously knocked off socks, as we are going full speed ahead with things starting to get really crazy. 3 months later. After a lengthy 3 months and 27 days had passed since the recording of the original record by Plant, the inevitable day had come. A new challenger had entered the ranks and was thirsty for producing games at a record pace. Splashing into the competition and pursuing the title of holding the newest fastest record was Torrent, another fellow American speedrun gigachad that smashed out the record by 19 seconds, placing the new record run at 1 minute and 42 seconds. Torrent must have been on top of the world. He had just claimed the new fastest time by a massive 19 seconds. This wasn't just a minor improvement, it was a massive change in the record time. Even with his humble message of, "I messed up a bit in the beginning with the menu," he was surely able to kick back and sit on his victory for a while, right? Wrong. The next day, no joke, the very next day Plant was done sunbaking. He had returned and was ready to use his super effective grass moves against Torrent. The intel that Plant had to immediately know his record was broken was second to none. This Plant could be a hidden FBI agent disguise. We are now entering the era that I like to call the great new game speedrun era. So, Everyone gather round as I tell you the grandiose tale of the great speedrunning history of the new save subcategory. It's about time, nuthead. Hey, listen! On that following day, Plant had beaten Torrent's run by 6 seconds. The runs were starting to get more and more optimized. For the time, Plant was able to return to his roots and called off pursuing the perfect new save run until 3 months and 21 days later. Alarms were sounded in Plant's greenhouse. New record alert! New record alert! Torrent! He murmured under his breath as he went to check the leaderboards, but when he opened up the speedrun leaderboard, he was met with a grim fate. A brand new challenger, also from America, named Bat, had spread his wings and begun to suck out the previous spare time that was lingering in Plant's former runs. Bat initially beats Plant's score on that fateful day on October 23rd, 2019, smidging a new record by 6 seconds. Ha ha ha, that is no threat for me, Plant crackled, but upon second inspection, he murmured, "Dear gods," as he realized that Bat was on a record spree, setting yet another 2 improved times to the record on that exact same day, pushing the record down from 1 minute 30 to 1 minute 29 seconds, and then again to 1 minute 27 seconds, all in one day. To make matters worse, just a mere 2 days later, Bat improved their personal best yet again, this time by the largest margin, with a phenomenal run cutting down 5 whole seconds, landing it in first place with a time of 1 minute and 23 seconds. Plant knew what they had to do as an idea sprouted into their mind. Their legendary determination to create the first ever runs would mean that they wouldn't be out of the game forever, and I'm sure that they were planning their comeback as soon as these new records were set. And on a fateful, beautiful sunny Sunday morning on the 1st of November 2020, Plant had finally pricked the thorn in his side. Plant churned out a new personal best of 1 minute and 20 seconds, nailing down the record by 3 whole seconds, with his only comments being, sub 1 minute 20 seconds is definitely possible, maybe if I didn't mess up the menus as much. I can 100% relate to that, my Plant friend. In my speedrun attempts, I was picking more incorrect menu items than the average waiter at Hell's Kitchen.
Should be a problem here.
There's no pumpkin.
There's like these little.
There's no pumpkin.
I don't want it.
You don't want it. Well, you finished it almost.
So you might be asking yourself, how did Plant shave off so much time in this last run? Plant willingly unsheathed a brand new technique that would forever change all of the game speedruns moving forward. Let me explain. In a previous run attempts, and even my runs shown earlier, the typical process of the speedrun would involve the following steps: skipping the introductory text, enabling the fast mode as quickly as possible in the menu, and developing the first game with the speed style enabled to hasten development. But now, let's look at Plant's run here up until the game proposal is written. Did you see it? Plant planted an additional step to the run setup. This was sending out a hiring request to recruit new staff, then later on hiring all the applicants as quickly as possible. While this does add in new menus to quickly cycle through, the benefits of having new employees working on the game greatly speeds up the game development process, leading to a shorter development time. Phenomenal! Just how much further can these runs even be optimized? Plant's new impressive 1 minute 20 record was marveled at by many, until 7 months and 10 days later. Climbing through the ranks was a brand new challenger from across the world that was hungry to produce the fastest games ever known to mankind. Phillounge. The German zipped past Torrent and Bat's scores, and even came for #1 Plant himself, securing the top of the leaderboard with a score of 1 minute and 18 seconds. The sub 1 minute 20 second runs are now a reality, but just how much further can this category be pushed? The new game run is by far the most popular game dev story category, with more entries than all the other categories combined. And don't think for a second that I have forgot about those last 2 categories. I have been saving them for the last major timeline in the speedrunning lore history. The events that took place 2 months and 9 days later was the birth of a new Kairosoft speedrunner like no other. A new dawn was rising at the hands of one particular speedrunner. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Game Dev Stories Speedrunning History's epic epilogue, and the last major segment of this video. 2010 in the 2020s. Phillounge had comfortably lounged at the top of the leaderboard for 7 months, but the prophecy foretold a speedrunning legend emerging on the 17th of August 2021. On this fateful day, the legend, WDN 2010 ascended from the depths of the speedrunning leaderboard to completely obliterate Phlounger's record time by 3 seconds, setting the new record at an impressive 1 minute and 15 seconds. But this wasn't all the prophecy had foretold. There is a reason that 2010 in the 2020s is such an important segment. WDN 2010 would then go on to set not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not even 5, but every single game dev story speedrun record over the years of 2021 to 2022. This is just phenomenal. WDN 2010 came in and performed a royal sweep of all the records. Let's just go through all of his records within the year of 2021, shall we? August 17th, 2021 was the day that Plant had a large majority of his records exterminated. WDN 2010 was the harbinger of speed, delivering 4 brand new records on a single day. The aforementioned 1 minute 15 second run of the new game category, a new record run for the award category in the runner-up subcategory, but this wasn't all though. They also created a brand new subcategory for the music award, which WDN 2010 promptly snatched up and added to his collection, later on improving the time to 25 minutes 2 days later. They also set a new record for the Hall of Fame run, igniting Plant's previous run by over 26 minutes, which was yet again improved 7 months later in March 2022. This was the day of reckoning. WDN 2010 had declared his rivalry on Plants all across the world on this fabled date of August 17th, 2021, one that'll be passed down for generations. Over the next week, WDN 2010's tyranny would continue, as 2 days later they snatched up the Design Award run. 2 days later, yet again, on the 21st of August, our 4th main category of game dev story speedruns was finally born, the Grand Prize run. In this category, you are timed from the start of the game all the way until you receive the grand prize at the Global Game Awards, with the time stopping as soon as your game is accounted as the Game of the Year. Imagine if developers speed ran to produce their Game of the Year in real life. Oh wait, we're in 2024, not 2019 anymore. This is actually already a reality that we don't have to imagine, as it seems like every second major AAA game fits into this category. WDN 2010's rampage didn't just end on this first week though. 2 weeks later, on the 4th of September, they claimed the record for the worst award record. More months ticked by as time advanced to May of 2022, and this was the birth of the final of the 5 speedrun categories. On the 22nd of May 2022, the All Achievements Run category was created. In this rule set, you are required to get every single achievement for the Steam or PS4 version of the game, with the timer stopping when the game ends. Kairosoft games don't have a huge amount of achievements, so to complete a successful run for this category, you just have to acquire the following 6 achievements. And yes, these are the actual achievement names. Number 1, just started a game company. Develop your first game. Number 2, dream of a million hit just came true. Develop a game that hits 1 million copies sold. Number 3, Global Game Awards winner! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Develop a game that wins the Global Game Awards. Number 4, what a great game company. Run a company successfully for a certain amount of years. Number 5, all good job. All good job. Master all occupations. And number 6, the company that Kairobot works. Hire Kairobot. This category introduces a lot of specific challenges to accomplish and is currently the longest speedrun out of the 5 major categories, with WDN 2010's record time sitting at 2 hours, 18 minutes and 51 seconds. WDN 2010's perfect victory just had one last speedrun title left to claim, the previous game subcategory, which was currently owned by a newcomer from Ireland called ECG the OW. And finally, the day had come. On one fateful morning on the 18th of June 2022, WDN 2010 performed the current standing record of 47 seconds, securing the last remaining title under their belt. WDN 2010 had finally done it, mastering every single category of speedrun, topping the leaderboards of every single speedrun challenge and sub-challenge for the game. They could finally rest easy knowing that their records would not be topped for years to come. The end. But wait, hold on, the video hasn't ended yet. This isn't the end of the story? In the shadows of the background laid a secret Kairosoft speedrunning connoisseur that was sharpening their skills day in and day out. Out of nowhere, on the desired day of the 5th of July 2023, a newcomer, Sardash from Mexico, would make his presence known as the fastest new game runner in history, setting an impressive 1 minute and 14 second run, beating WDN 2010's record a year earlier by 1 second. To this day, in July 2024, this is still the fastest speed run for the new save category, meaning while that WDN 2010 has the records for literally every other category of every other run, Sardash proved that the impossible is possible, and that there is still plenty more to discover for Kairosoft speedrunning. Sardash has ignited a new flame in the game dev story speedrunning community, and has inspired a new wave of competitors to try their best at the current fastest runs. The current world record 1 minute 14 second run by Sardash is extremely impressive, but what their determination and perseverance has shown us is that it is possible to further bat down this time even more, even if it is by a couple of seconds years later. Who knows, at this rate, one day we might be fortunate enough to see the elusive sub 1 minute 10 second new save speedrun. And so, the chapter closes on the current history of Kairosoft's game dev story speedruns. It's amazing to see that such an old game released in 2010 for mobiles has recently exploded into the speedrunning scene, with so many fun categories and contestants competing. But just as Sardash displayed in 2023, the curtains are certainly not closing all the way down on these records. In this video, I am placing my call to action for viewers of this video and fans of Kairosoft alike to check out this speedrunning scene, and even potentially attempt speedrunning these categories yourself if it interests you. Currently, only the new save game category is the most populated and competitive. All the other 4 categories don't have a significant amount of run submissions and can certainly be optimized faster to produce new world records. Summon WDN 2010 out of their slumber to best the newer formed records and continue the cycle of running through all of these categories for the best possible times. If this sounds interesting to you, feel free to check out the speedrun.com page for game dev story, and a huge thanks to speedrun.com, the speedrunning community, and the featured speedrunners, as they were the main source of information for this video and wouldn't have been possible without all of them. If you are new to speedrunning, I highly recommend giving the new save game category a run, as the current record is only 1 minute and 14 seconds long. The average speedrun is only about 1 minute 45 seconds, so this is an extremely achievable and fun run to practice. Whew, what an exhilarating journey. I didn't know a game so relaxing and calming could be so frantic and competitive. It's great to see game dev stories still be active so many years later as Kairosoft's first ever international game release. It is truly a timeless classic. What did you think about the speedrunning history of the game? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video and content, please make sure to subscribe if you aren't already, and race to smash the like button on this video if you enjoyed. Amazing work! It's a YouTube speedrun world record. The like button was smashed in a speedrun record time. Thanks for taking the time to watch this entire video. Comment BEARz Sonic speedrun below in the comments to let me know you watched this far in. I appreciate the support greatly. If you're cruising for more Kairosoft content or game reviews, feel free to check out my other reviews on my channel. And one last thing, I absolutely plan to make more videos on Kairosoft speedrunning, so if you enjoyed this type of content in particular, please be sure to let me know. I'll catch you in the next one, and as always, have a good one.